Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids147, and it's time to work on walking in the rain. So I've uncovered another section. We are in confetti heaven today, that's for sure. Have I actually got this position right? Pretty much bob on. So I have put my light pad underneath this one today because I do feel as though it is a definite need on this section. It is very, it's very confetti, and there are some symbols, especially some of the darker ones, that a light pad makes a huge difference underneath. So we'll start off as we mean to go on, which is ploughing through this one. Should have chance to get through quite a few, if not all, of your comments and questions at the time of filming today, because I completely WIP and waffled my way through Sunday's WIP and chat. Didn't get to many comments at all, and waffled my way through giving you my sort of week's updates, and I don't think I have any more as I'm filming this one. I'm actually filming this one a little bit early because for this last week we had Sunday's WIP and waffle, and then we've only had one video in between because I've got my kitting up for June waffle on Saturday. So I'm doing this WIP and waffle a bit earlier than I normally do, just to make sure that everything's sort of spread out, because it was launch on Friday, which means my Monday, Tuesday at a minimum, possibly Wednesday, ends up being full shop days. So I wanted to make sure that this WIP and waffle, as well as all the other videos, are prepared in plenty of time. So I'm actually diamond painting this on an evening, not late evening, not quite full late night, but it is sort of early evening. I'm actually filming this on shop launch evening, so just after the last one has gone up. I like to keep myself busy with something on shop launch evenings, because if I sit down and sort of switch off to work on my diamond painting or whatever else, I don't switch off the same, because I always fear that I am going to end up potentially missing launch, which would not be good. And it would definitely not be good today because Megan is at a wedding. She's got a wedding tomorrow. So she is travelling down this evening, which means I am on my lonesome for shop launch. Whereas normally it's both of us. And therefore, if need be, we remind each other. Alarms are set. Alarms are set. But still, there's always that thought that something is potentially going to get missed. So I'm working with launch tray, so I do apologise if they have all gone by the time this video goes up. You never know. It can be very much hit and miss whether all trays go or not. Sometimes we are able to print more, and that's why they are available in the shop for a bit longer. And we have printed more of these. We've actually printed more the last few months, so they've been lasting a lot longer, but you never know when it comes to the stripe trays which way it's gonna go. So yeah, but I'm working with the zesty one because this is a lot of confetti on this section, and I find if I get a zesty tray, I'm less likely to tip out too many diamonds. I'm definitely known, it is my thing that when I'm working with the bigger tray, which is my standard go-to size, if I'm working on a small section, I will tip out far too many diamonds. I mean, I've even tipped out too many for what I need now, but I'm worse when it comes to doing it with the big tray, or the normal size tray as I call it, the original tray. Okay, what do I want next? I'm trying to figure out what's sort of jumping out at me. I think I want to get these couple of dark 3371, and then I will get to comments etc. from last week's, as you're watching this, WIP and Waffle. It's last week's for me too, because I filmed it last week. So, oh, it is that one. I just did my whole the diamond paintings on its side confusion. My big painting at the moment is not on its side. I am working on it direct. So I just had a momentary lapse where yeah, I forgot that this one's on its side and tried to look for a different corner piece than the one that actually fit. Right, Mysterious Days. She says things that she can reread or rewatch time and time again. She calls her comfort series. Yes, very much so. She says there's many book series and YouTubers or TV series that she will go to put on as background noise, because it's solid time to shut her brain off and just have enough enough to quiet down the thought train that never ends. I know that feeling. Oh, I've actually got more. I've actually got all of them, I think. I guess we'll find out. She says, especially when going to sleep. She's got videos, she says, that she's seen so many times. She can pretty much quote them. Or she loves falling asleep to How It's Made episodes. I think it's the voice of the guy on How It's Made, isn't it? She said weather in Georgia has been crazy too. She said it's gone from sunny to rainy, then back to sunny within the hour. Yeah, it's definitely not the year for weather this year, is it? Or at least I don't feel like it is. It's not a good weather year. She said, additionally, it has been 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 26 degrees Celsius. Okay, yeah, that's too warm. We've had 22, 23 recently, and that is just about warm enough for me. That will do. You don't need to go any warmer. She says with humidity, and then it's been down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius within the same day. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. She says they're poor plants and allergies. Her sinuses are not happy, even with daily allergy meds. I'm not surprised. I find weather change is what affects me the most. So if it's going to be warm and stay warm, then, you know, it'll affect me sort of the day it changes, but then I'm fine. It's when it changes from one to another to another to another, it's just, no, I don't like it. It needs to make its mind up, is what it needs to do. Right, I have got in all of the blue ones. So I've done all of the blue. I've got a single one of this red. So let's pop that in. Now we're on yellow. Most of the symbols are yellow. So I like to box off the other ones. Okay, let's get to the current comments from Walking in the Rain. So Busy Lizzie, she says, out of curiosity, she said she's watched my May launch video, and you talk about miscommunication, she says, between you and Megan. She said, but this isn't the first time, she says, that it's happened recently. I think it is. She says things can get miscommunicated, she says, but why don't you both sit down and work out dates? She says, written on a calendar. Just so you both know when each item gets launched, so there is no miscommunications. She says, just a suggestion, she said, as it's bugging her that it keeps happening. She says, this is meant to be helpful. She says, if it comes off as rude or mean, she says she apologises, that's not her intention. And then she said, right onto the video. It did come across as a little bit, but I get that the written word doesn't always portray the meaning behind. I don't know what other miscommunication between me and Megan you're referencing. There has only been the one in relation to the launch items, which was an item being released in effect a little bit earlier, that I wasn't expecting to be a little bit earlier. But the miscommunication happened because we do write things down in relation to things that need doing for the website, for launches, things like that. So I had written down that I needed in a general, say we have like a board. Hang on, that's not that colour. Yeah, we have basically a what's called Trello that we can both access that has a list of things that need doing, and creating a listing for the numbered cover paper was on that list. And because she created it at the same time as creating the monthly shop listings, she thought it was for launch, which is completely understandable how it happened. But I wasn't quite ready to launch it yet because I like to prepare, you know, a decent amount beforehand, just to save work on the actual launch weekend itself, because I try to have some time to clean the house and all the rest of it. So yeah, it was mentioned last month when it happened, and then it was mentioned on the launch video in case people don't watch the WIP and Waffles, but they were exactly the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the part that came off a little bit rude was, why don't you both sit down and work out dates? And that is because we do, but we are still human too. So things can happen. And in effect, it is the written word that has caused the confusion. But unfortunately, we are, you know, there are times when we can't both sit down to do the launch things. Will and I were out that evening, so Megan could only go through the written because we weren't in the house to do for when launch items needed to go up and when the social media post needed to go up. So it went up, we were out. Wasn't my birthday weekend, it was another weekend. We were out anyway. We were both out of the house. And yeah, it needed doing and it needed going up and it needed getting ready on the site. And Megan quite capably did it as she normally does. So yeah, there has only been one miscommunication, which in 3 years, I don't think is too bad, to be fair. But rest assured, we do communicate. We often do stuff together to have the spoken word as well as, in effect, the little written word tally. But, you know, life happens. We're both very, very busy people. And yeah, I just had happened to be out of the house when it needed doing. So it happens. It happens, and it's not a big deal, you know. It just was a little bit more work for me launch weekend, but saved me the work, you know, on another day and gave me a chance to do something else. So but yeah, rest assured, we do have constant lists, communication, things going on. We both have our strengths. I can create listings on the website. I'm just a whole lot slower than Megan. So Megan tends to take on the things that she's faster on and she can fit around work. And I take on, you know, a lot more of the daily and the prep and all of that jazz. So she wasn't to know I didn't have loads of it ready and prepped. And I wasn't to realise that she took the creating of the listing as to put it up, but I get why she did. So anyway, right, let's leave that one at that one. Cat Lady, she says she purchased some yarn off a person in the US. Hang on, I think that's the only one. And had it posted to her hotel in New York for them to collect when they got there. She said it worked well. Oh, hang on, she said NY. Yeah, that's New York, isn't it? Not New Jersey. No, what's the other one? Yeah. She says it worked well. She said she did get a painting out, but it was only a 30 by 30. So she did finish it quickly. She's going up the coast to spend the day at the beach, and they're expecting temperatures of 23 degrees, she says, at last. It's 23 degrees Celsius. Yes, that's been our high. As I'm actually filming this, that's been the high the last couple of days, and it's been rather nice. I've enjoyed the last week. As I'm filming this, we are due rain and colder temperatures. So when this goes up, if any Brits are thinking that I am currently in 23 degrees, that is not likely at all. The temperature is supposed to drop down to 15, I think, next week. And I know we're supposed to have a couple of days of rain, and it's been forecast severe thunderstorms as well. So British weather at its best, giving us a little bit of nice and then a lot of nasty. It's the way it likes to work. Sorry, my battery was actually running out. I forgot. I filmed something else on this battery. Right, that one is done. I forgot whether that was going in or out of my case then. I was going to go to this next one here, but it's very, very confetti, this one. And I could do it working as I normally do in blocks. But I feel like while I'm chatting at the same time, this might be a lot easier if I go for one that there's a lot of and it's jumping out at me and work through them that way. We'll see. I'll probably flip between the two. What we are doing in the craft, said finally caught up with all of my videos. They said, hi Rebecca, have you ever felt like you're going through paintings so quick? Said they can do a 30 by 40 in 5 days or so, and they just want more. Sometimes, yes, with 30 by 40s, I completely understand it. If you've been following through my videos for this year, I was letting my decision wheel pick which painting I worked on next, and I ended up doing like 3, 4 30 by 40s, and I did a lot of my walking in the rain in between. If I'd have actually de-kitted and sort of kitted up as soon as I'd finished, then I probably would have got through all 3 of them in like 3 weeks. One of them had a lot of the sort of background, a lot of solid background, and one of them was a round as well, and I think like I completed it in like 2 days or something. 2 actual sitting down diamond painting sessions. Guaranteed I did, you know, start quite early on in the night, which in the evening, which isn't a often for me, but it can happen on occasion, especially if I've had a nice productive day where I've got loads of stuff done and got everything all settled, and then I'll settle down and diamond paint earlier. And yeah, so I had a couple of nights where I was actually able to do that. Well, one night where I was able to do that, and actually got a bit more than half of one done. So yes, if you're just dealing with 30 by 40s, I can completely see, and it does feel like you're getting through them rather quickly. However, what I do tend to find in general, and this is why my stash has built up, while I do a lot of unboxings, especially with things that I am gifted to unbox, they don't all end up in my stash. In fact, a lot don't end up in my stash. But I have still found that, especially with larger paintings, more so with larger paintings, I'm not able to complete them in effect as quick, because there are periods of time in your life, in your week, in your current month, where I don't get to diamond paint as much. Sometimes there can be, you know, quite a few days and I don't get any done. I've had before now, I've had a week where the only diamond painting I've got done is what I've done on video within the whole week, just because evenings I'm either too busy getting stuff done, or, you know, by the time I get to sit down, it's just too late and I've just not got even the mental energy to sit down and switch off and diamond paint. It's more of a sit down, doom scroll my phone and then go to bed. So I find that it sort of evens itself out, and I have found that, you know, my stash has got to the point where I used to work with only 1, 2 paintings in advance. That's all I'd have ready in advance. Whereas now that sort of has built up to more than that, especially because I've been doing a lot more large paintings in general. If we think last year, year before, a lot more large paintings have been done. I've also, of course, the Paint Gem Minis came out, and I sort of do those in between, which they don't take a lot of time, and I often diamond paint or do those diamond paint with those when I otherwise wouldn't diamond paint. So it's when I've finished a section on my big painting and want to do some more. Maybe then I would potentially uncover another one on my big section, but on my big painting, but it would also take too long to be going to bed at a reasonable time. So, you know, I'd probably, even though I want to diamond paint, I would probably stop. You know, try and be the responsible adult every now and then. Or I do them when I think, oh, I want to do a little bit, but I don't have time to do a nice amount of my big painting. So I'm just checking if I've got any more. I don't think so. Reserve the right to be wrong. So yeah, I do find that it does sort of settle down a little bit in the end. I'm just wondering if this light pad is a little bit too bright for the camera. Because, like, I need it there, but I don't need it that bright. So yeah, I found that it evens out in the end. But yeah, if I was just doing 30 by 40s, which was especially more of a thing when I first started diamond painting, like getting hold of bigger ones, there wasn't as many out there as there is now, then I am sure that I would feel like I'm just going through paintings at a rate of knots. But I did a really, really big section on my current round painting, my current large round painting the other night. And then I did my most recent WIP and Waffle. And I know another evening or two and that painting's going to be finished, which means that will probably happen. Like I will get it to the point of doing the last section in a WIP and Waffle probably in the next couple of days, because there is an added level of excitement when you get near the end that makes things you just want to do them a little bit faster. Whether I'll manage to squeeze in any time to do some more of this, I don't know. In between de-kitting my large round and kitting up my next large painting, I may get a section or two of Walking in the Rain done. I may not. But if not, we'll finish it together. Because this is also getting there, which makes me, kind of excited to do more, because it's also getting close to a finish. But I feel like they're all finishing at the same time at the moment. They're all getting close to finish, all around the same time. There's that one. Do have a couple of different circle ones. Blossom Chops, she says she thought that LJ Ross rang a bell. So she's checked her Kindle and she has 19 of his books. She says now she's going to have to check out Audible. Christina says, how can you have 19 books of an author and only have the name ring a bell? Which is a good question. It's a good question. But Jackie does have a very good answer. She says it's because they're on her Kindle is one. Because as much as, you may only pay, concentrated attention. That's what I want to call it. Concentrated attention to books on a bookcase when you're picking your next one to read or something. It's amazing how much you will actually sort of look at the books without concentration, and therefore be able to visually recognise the name on the spine of a book or the cover of a book is so different to the likes of on Audible or on a Kindle. And I completely get that, because on a Kindle, especially if you've got just like the reading Kindle, which is what I've got, just the sort of the book and the text, while it does have a picture of the front, it is very much it's like a black and white. It's not vivid. It doesn't pop in your, it's not in your face as much as an actual book. Audible is a little bit better for being in your face. Partly because of the colours, I think. And I think when I was asked about LJ Ross, what's made me pretty sure that I have read their books is I'm pretty sure that I kept getting recommended it from Audible for the next in the series for quite a while when I was reading through them. So therefore it was the first thing I saw when I opened the app for quite a while. Oh look, there's another one I've just missed. I've spotted another one over here of that sun as well. It's one of those sections. It's going to test me. So yeah, I can understand how on a Kindle it definitely would make a difference. She also says, and B, because she has over 100 authors on her Kindle, which is another very good reason, Jackie. She said during COVID, she spent a lot of time reading and expanding her Kindle library because she could get books for 99p. Yes, there was a lot of sort of bargain books, you know, more reduced price, try our books. Because I'm guessing a lot more people in general were reading during COVID. Because they had a lot more downtime, that's for sure. So I understand why she's not recognised the name. Or you could just be like me and be absolutely rubbish with names, which is what I am. It takes so long for a name to stick into my head and to be remembered. It has to be a constant. And I still haven't actually looked to see if I have got LJ Ross, but I'm sure I have. I say, I can picture the front of my Audible app when I open it on my phone, shouting at me with the latest LJ Ross book in a series when I was reading through said series. I keep spotting ones that I've missed. There's another one there, there's one there, and there's one over here. And I'm trying to be good and fill in some of those around it to check if I have missed. Oh, and there's another one there. But no, I'm going to fill these in. Because it is more than annoying. Especially when there is so many colours. I picked the diamond up, but I've picked it up the wrong way up. There we go. Chase it around my canvas. Yeah, it is. When you've got this many colours, it is an extra little bit annoying when you miss so many of them. One or two is one thing. The amount I'm missing is a complete other thing. No, it's not that one I want. Which one is it I want? It's that one. I want that one because that's a miss. Slap bang in the middle of some others. And then where else did I see? I've just spotted, oh, the sun one. I also missed that one up here. But yeah, sometimes I think we should go back to the days where we could just sit and read books. Not due to anything as drastic as COVID, just something that would force us to stay in the house, but without the drama that went with. Would be good. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes all is well with me. It is, thank you. It's warm, and I'm definitely feeling warm today from the heat. I think I like it when I'm sat out in the breeze, out of the sun, in the breeze. It's the perfect temperature. But whenever I then sit inside for a bit or stand like I am doing now, it's a little bit too warm, to be honest. Too warm. Right, I'm going to fill in some of these gaps. She says she has just come home from a productive study day at work. Woohoo! I am all for productive days. Though her head is spinning, she says. It'll take a while to wind down from that kind of day. I remember when I used to work evenings in a restaurant when the kids were younger. Even once I got home, I could not go to bed straight away. I had to, as exhausted as I was, I had to just have time to process the day before I could even think about switching off for the night. She says, now to eat dinner and enjoy my video. Well, I hope it has helped you to switch off watching the video through, giving you a chance to sort of process your day and switch off from it all. Right, while I'm putting that one away, let's do the other one. So there are actually two with very, very close to the same symbol. They do look slightly different on the actual canvas. There is a spacing difference. There's also a background colour difference. But while I'm in the right place in my case, I may as well get the other colour out and get that one finished. Sue, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, this picture is very pretty. She says, for your pick-up pen, she says, why not use a pencil sharpener? That is a very mighty fine idea. Partly because I don't know where a pencil sharpener is, but a pencil sharpener is a very good shout. And I know one of the kids will have one. Megan will have one. She's a teacher. So I will get one from Megan and give a pencil sharpener a go, because that would work a lot better. Most of the pencils I have, you see, in my craft room and sort of my craft space are all the clicky ones, because I can never find a pencil sharpener when I need one. So a lot of the time, the pencils that I have used, sort of, or the main reason I had for using a pencil was when I was doing my cross stitch patterns, when I was doing a lot of cross stitch. And I used a pencil to colour it in. So I like to have the clicker mechanical pencils, that's the name. The mechanical pencils, because I would be able to colour in my little squares a lot easier with those than with a pencil that was getting blunt. And I've still missed one. It's right here. Goodness me. You're going to be hearing a lot of that today, I think. I think this is the section for missing bits. Well and truly. Right, Diamond. Liv's Dotting Den. She says she loves pottering. She says she tends to do more if she just potters about rather than scheduling in times to do bits. She says so as and when she sees something that needs to be done, she tries to just get it done. However, she says if she sits on the couch, then that's it. She says she is done for the day/night. I get that. I do totally get that. My thing is, I do sit on the couch first thing in the morning, do my admin, have my brew, all that sort of jazz. It getting going can be the hard part for me, sort of first thing. So the actual, in effect, getting up off the couch, getting started with my day. I'm more than happy to be very productive, or try to be productive if if I have my list, then I'm more so when I'm first sat down. And then once I get going, I'm not too bad if I sit for 2 minutes and then get back up again, provided I have got going. If I've not got going and I've just, nipped to the loo and then sat back down again, then nah, it's going to be one of those kind of days more often than not. But yeah, I do get what you mean with that. And I do often achieve more as well. I always found when the children were younger, when you have no choice but to move, because you're responsible for little humans. I always found that on days like that I was under the weather, tired, whatever it was, the only way I could motivate myself was in like adverts of the TV. So even if it was the kids watching something on TV and you just get caught up in it, as soon as the advert would come on, that would be my cue to get something done. Something done, something ready. And some days I really did feel as though I had got more done than if I'd have been feeling fine and dandy. So yeah, pottering days, I do love a good pottering day. I can tick off all those small things on my list, and sometimes I can do them within a busy day. So today, sorry, I've lost the symbol that I'm trying to find. So like today, I've had, you know, busy shop day, YouTube day, washing day, all the rest of it. But I did manage to fit in, you know, one extra sort of little bit, which was just clearing the paperwork off the windowsill in the kitchen, and actually, you know, either putting it in the filing cabinet or the bin, or sending it to a child's room because it was theirs, and sorting out some receipts. Me and the girls had gone shopping on my birthday. We'd gone a few different places, picked up some clothes and stuff while shopping, and those receipts were literally all just in a pile. As you do when you come back, you know, give it a couple of weeks, check the outfits are all right, check nothing's, you know, damaged in a way you've not seen, check it all fits, all that sort of stuff. And it just sits there in like its temporary home. Yeah, and I managed to clear that, and that's normally the sort of thing that I will do on a pottering day, is things like clearing older receipts off the windowsill, or moving, you know, this thing that's arrived that somebody in the household has put there and not quite taken to their room. And yeah, the kids love it when I have a pottering day because they find a pile of stuff on their bed when they get home. Like, this is yours. Find a home. I mean, they do blitz through their bedroom every week. And of course they tidy up and they put all their sort of stuff away and make sure everything is straight then. But of course, if it's not in their bedroom, it's not going to get put away, is it? So they're pretty good at taking their stuff up, especially when they come in from work and all that sort of stuff, and making sure that when they go upstairs they take all their stuff with them. But it can just be those random bits. Sometimes it's something that's been dropped off for them, or something that, you know, they've kept out to show their sibling and then forgotten to take up because it's not their normal daily stuff. So yeah, I think that's why I also feel like I get so much accomplished when I'm pottering, because I get to clear all the stuff out out from my nice flat surfaces. So yeah, you cannot underestimate a good pottering day. I think everybody should have at least, you know, a day, ideally a day-ish a week, where you don't necessarily have urgent things to do. And that doesn't mean you have nothing to do. So even on days I potter, I have things that I want to get done. You know, whether it be a weekend and it's I want to, you know, clean the bathroom, or I want to get some loads of washing on, or I need to nip out and pick this up from somewhere. But it's great to have a pottering day when it's good to have at least a day or two a week where you have breathing room. I'm awful for it, of sort of filling my days and constantly having something to do. And yeah, I've been trying to more so give myself, you know, certain days that certain things happen, but then other days to just breathe or catch up, or, you know, if you try and fill every minute of your day, then one thing goes wrong, takes longer than what you think, one family emergency and the whole thing topples down. Whereas if you give yourself breathing room, then things can flex, and if an emergency comes up, you can shuffle things about and therefore take it in your stride. But yeah, I love pottering. Anyway, that was a complete sidetrack from pottering. Livs also says, she says, that sounds lovely. She says you deserve the relaxing time. She says she has not been to Centre Parks, but she's heard some good stuff about them. Yeah, I've been Centre Parks with my parents once as like a younger child. I can't remember how old I was. I know we all took our bikes. I know we were in like a full lodge. I know we were like the furthest away from everything, and tend to cycle down to do stuff. But it was like years and years ago. And of course, a child's perspective is completely different to an adult's perspective. It's going to be. But yeah, we decided to go one weekend as a couple, and it's now become our sort of little go-to a little bit. We just know what to expect. We know we're going to find it relaxing. The apartments are actually really close to everything, which makes it ideal for us because we can go and do something and then nip back to the apartment, you know, and then we can go and do something else and then we can nip back. So whether it be, you know, nip back for a spot of lunch, nip back for half an hour to just sit and chill without, you know, people and noise and all the rest of it. Yeah, we love it. And there's no cars about, so it's all, you know, walk down the roads. You know, there's kids riding bikes, but they're all really good at riding bikes, and yeah, roads are wide enough, and it's in a forest, so you can go, you know, hunting and watching the birds, sitting and watching the squirrels and all that sort of stuff. Still nice. So yeah, it's become a bit of our go-to destination if we get a weekend. It's like, oh, shall we? Sometimes we do a bit more. We booked in quite a bit last time, and then actually ended up cancelling a lot of things as it sort of went along. It was like, oh, we're not just, you know, enjoy this sort of slower pace of life. So this time I think we've only booked in something something Saturday and something Sunday, and a couple of meals, just to book a table, you know, for your Sunday roast. So hopefully we sort of hit the little sweet spot. Tillabotha says, hi Rebecca. She says, hope all is well with me and the family. It is, thank you. It's a quiet house today. Catherine's back at uni and Megan's on her way to a wedding. She says she thinks she's having withdrawal symptoms. She hasn't been diamond painting for more than a week. I get the same way. I completely get that feeling. There are sometimes hubby's like, oh, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to go out somewhere? And I'm like, nope. I am staying in and I am diamond painting. It's been far too long. She says, on 2nd of May, she received a pacemaker. Ooh. Said everything is hurting all over, and she is not allowed to use her left arm. And the left arm is in a sling as well. Oh, she said, hopefully by the time you read this comment, she will have done a bit of diamond painting. She says, enjoy the weekend with hubby and take care of yourself. Well, that sounds like you need to take care of yourself. Hopefully you have been able to diamond paint. It's good that you're eager to, but it is right that you hold off until you can, but then just do a little bit. Have you got any projects in mind that you want to do? I mean, when I say projects, I'm thinking the likes of, you know, like when I do my heaven and earth design, there's often, you know, planning you can do around that. Is there any sort of planning that you want to do? Is there any, you know, do you need to update your logbook? Or do you just want to take note of what stash you've got? Is there something like that that you can do that is, because you're wanting to diamond paint, is there something that you can do that is diamond painting related, but not take the same strain as diamond painting? I suppose it depends where's aching and where's hurting. If not, maybe just go and build up your wish lists on all the sites, because that doesn't, you know, that doesn't involve moving a lot. I've lost another symbol. Oh, there it is. I feel like it has been a week since I've done this painting, which is usual. I usually do it once a week. But for some reason, oh, I know why. Like, I feel like I'm really losing where all the symbols are. But it is because these are all the same sort of symbols I was doing way down here near the beginning. They're not the symbols that I've done for the last 3-4 weeks. And because there is a week in between each, the symbols just aren't, I suppose this selection of symbols aren't as familiar, and I can't just gravitate to which case they're in as easily. That's what it is. It's because it's actually been nearer 2 months since I last used this set of symbols, maybe, or maybe a month and a half, but it's been a lot longer since I've used this variation of symbols. That makes me feel a little bit better. Livs also says, she says, we went to the coast on Monday. She said it was a lovely day and she managed to dodge the seagulls with her donuts. Good job. Keeping donuts to yourself at the beach can be hard. She said it's so nice to be just near the sea, breathing in the sea air. Yes, that is a definite plus. I love the sort of sea air, sea breeze. I go to the ocean quite a bit when I go to Australia, which I know is a long way to go to an ocean rather than the sea, but it's just delightful. And it's really close to where my parents live as well. Like, even closer than it is, I suppose. I'm a bit more inland, but I could probably get to the sea in 45 minutes. But theirs is more like 10 minutes. And for some reason, even long distance in Australia is not the same as long distance here. Probably because, you know, long distance, the roads are a lot emptier and it's free flowing. It's not stop-start traffic the same way it is in the UK. Pretty much everywhere in the UK. Grey Legrand, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she wondered if she contacted Paint Gem, if they could tell her how many drills are in a particular kit, like the number of stitches in cross stitch. She says she just wonders, she says, dependent on the set, if one may be equivalent to a 30 by 40. Oh, like if one set would be equivalent to a 30 by 40. I think they would be a bit bigger, though I don't know. Maybe. It's hard, yeah, without laying them out, because every set is sort of different. She's then said she's sending them an email. She says she'll let me know what they say. Awesome, because I have no idea whether they can or not. While I, have, of course, contact with them, I have an affiliate code. I often buy my kits, but occasionally I am sent some. It varies. I love them so much, I'm happy to buy them. I don't know how they sort of run things, what software they use to create the paintings and stuff. So I couldn't tell you if, like, the software they use would tell them how many. Like, I know software that I've been messing with, not getting anywhere yet, but messing with, it will tell me how many stitches and stuff, but it's in like the one image. And of course, Paint Gem is, between 4 and 16 different images. So whether they can tell you collectively or whether they would have to look at each individual painting, I'm not sure. So I don't know what software they use. Right, I'm just trying to fill up a couple of these single little holes before I think I'm going to start going round this way, because there's a lot now sort of same colour ones that will be a bit easier to potentially sort of go round and read comments at the same time. I changed the glue dot in this pen last night, and while the end of it is nowhere near as sticky, there is the odd part that just likes to pick everything up. Okay, plus symbol. Right, let's settle in for a few diamonds going down. She says, P.S. She says she loved the colour combo today, which is the launch items of the black and white. Of which I'm using the black and white stripe tray now. Even though it's got the darker base, the lines do really help it pop with the nice white lines on it. I love it. It's my humbug tray. It's my bar humbug. She says, including the minimalist cover papers. Yes, so if you don't like things that are as busy cover paper wise, the likes of this Daisy one is quite a nice mild one. And then, of course, the black and white from this month, which you can colour in if you wish. You could colour in these daisies if you wanted to, but they can just be used as black and white too. It really is a matter of preference, whether you enjoy colouring in, whether you want to do it at the same time or not. It's a few different options for you there, of course, and then we have 4th of July for that pop of colour. Oh, missed one. I only had 2 of them on the board and I only put 1 down. Anyway, I'll get it in a minute. I'm going to get some of these ones around it and see if I've missed any more before I grab that one. Right, this is my arrows tray. There you are. Katrina says, hello Rebecca. She says, when will be time to order advent calendars for Christmas? July-ish. We will announce when, but it will not be before the 1st of July. For the advent calendars to be available for potential pre-order. We will hopefully be finalising stuff up soon. Megan is about to have a half term, and that's when we tend to do a lot of the sort of collective sorting out and finalising things. We finalise a few months' launches, we finalise things, or we work on things for Advent. So most items for going in the Advent are in-house. The last lot is on its way. But it's been specially made, so it's got a longer trip than the rest has. There's another plus. Yeah, it's got a longer journey than the rest have. So the last few bits are on their way, but we are hoping to finalise the sort of outer packaging and the bags and get all those ordered in over this half term. And then also, because everything is now on its way or here, once we've sorted out packaging, we should be able to finalise final prices, and then we can look and fit in what dates for stuff. But it definitely won't be before the beginning of July. And the reason I know that is we are a limited company, and our end of year, as our company, end of year is the end of June. So there is a lot of admin stuff that needs doing for the end of June. And we like to get all of that sort of boxed off before we start our new company year. And yeah, we don't like to have orders hanging in between. So like, any orders that come in on the 30th, we like to ensure that they are dispatched. Sometimes time zones can, kick one order out, but if we put pre-orders up, we could potentially have a load of orders that are not going out for a month or two, and that doesn't work with end of year. So it won't be before the beginning of July, but it probably potentially will be on the 1st of July, or it may be a bit later. But as soon as we know a date, we will start advertising a date on our social media. We'll let you guys know. We'll of course let you guys know when it gets a bit closer as well, and we will put all details up on the website as soon as we know as well. Like, we'll let you know it's coming, and we should have, well, we have loads, which is why I want to finalise packing, because I want to start packing them even before the last couple of bits arrive. I want to make a start on packing some of the items up to just take the pressure off me this summer. Okay, right. This is where I'm, every now and then I'm like, okay, I've done that big sort of darker pink section that I was going to do. So there is like a singular one here. So sometimes then I like to look and try and potentially tidy up some of the single ones before I start in on like all the rest. I want to do this slash. Where is my slash? I feel like my cases are the opposite way round to what they were last time. They're probably not, but I feel like they're confusing me more today. Maybe it's just the time of day it is. I'm normally starting to switch off by now. Slow down for the evening. But yeah, let's get these in here and get my next symbol out. There's actually more of these than I initially thought. I nearly tipped them into the lid. It's a good job I didn't. Okay. Now I'm going to get my divide symbol, and Marsha Braswell, she says their washing machine walks too. So there was a story in last week's WIP and Waffle. Somebody saying that their mum has to sit on top of their washing machine, as when it's on a spin it walks itself and blocks the door. So Marsha, she said her washing machine walks too. Their home is up on piers, as it was built in the 1950s, and the floor is not level. Also, it's a front loading machine with a big drawer underneath it. She says when this one walks across the floor for the last time, they're going back to a top loading washer without a drawer. So sometimes improvements really aren't improvements. That's true. Sometimes you think, oh yeah, this will be great, it will make my life so much easier, and then you get it and you're like, no, it doesn't. She says there is no climbing on their washer though, because the top of the washer is eye level. So it's not only the washing machine, it's that big drawer underneath as well. So it'd have to get a ladder to get up there. I think if it's something that size, I don't know whether you sitting on it would stop it walking anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't stop a monster. Do you know what? I'm tipping them in there. When it just gets to the point that it's that big, I'm sure the weight of somebody sitting on it will not necessarily do what you want it to do in the fact of stopping the washer from walking. There must be a point where a person's weight is not enough. She says, luckily, the laundry area they have is a small confined space, and the washer actually can't get past the dryer to block them out of the room. So even if it does go walkies, or when it does go walkies, it can't block them out, which is good. I couldn't imagine having to watch my washing machine that much. You know, just to potentially watch where it goes when it's on a spin and all that sort of stuff. I'm more the one that I will put it on, and if I happen to be in the room or close, like in the conservatory rather than in the shop, or in here with the door open rather than with it shut, if I hear the washing machine beep to say that it's stopped, then it has a greater chance of getting put out than if I don't hear it. If I don't hear it, I can completely forget that thing's on, or been on. In fact, I did it today. I did 2 loads of washing today, and well, that's what I've liked to do the nice days, is I do 2 loads of washing, I fill my 2 washing lines, and I leave it until like, you know, the post has been to collect the post, sort of wrapping up my day, and then I bring it in. And while the weather's been warm enough to do a load of washing, bring it in and put another load out. Yeah, no, not happening. That just ends up becoming, I'm doing too many different things then with my day. I like to, once I've put all the washing out, to think, okay, I've not got any more. But there was one extra item that my, like a bedding item that my son also put in, like a big fluffy blanket thing that he put in. And it's really sort of quite thin, lightweight, dries really, really quickly. So I decided to put that on a load on its own today. So in effect, that was my 3rd load. Completely forgot about the thing. Completely forgot that I had another item in the washing machine, and promptly left it there for a few hours. I did manage to get it out, and because it does dry quick, it's fine, a couple of hours in the sort of evening sun. But I was bringing in the washing from today, it had just gone 4, and I was like, I haven't put that out. So I've put it out for a couple of hours. I'll bring it in before the air starts turning damp, and it will be fine. If not, it can just sit over the top of a door or something just to air out the last little bit. Kim, she says she agrees that kitting up a single paint gem mini kit for my weekend away is the best idea. She said, you don't need to look like the crazy woman who can't leave her hobby behind while enjoying a weekend getaway with the hubby. She says, enjoy your weekend fun. Thank you. Yes, I have kitted up a painting. In fact, you would have seen it a couple of days ago. I have kitted up a paint gem mini kit. I class it as packing for my weekend away. Getting my important packing done first is what I've done. So paint gem mini set is secured. The first time we went, actually, we were on the ground floor, which was good. But hubby actually had, he'd pulled his back that weekend. The first weekend we ever went to Centre Parks. So we did have a downstairs apartment, which was great. But I did have to make a few trips with the stuff that we took. Because I did actually take my Christmas cross stitch. This was a couple of years ago, it would have been. But if you've been watching my channel for a while, you would have seen the Christmas cross stitch that I did. I actually took that with me, intending to do some. I didn't really touch that. I think I may have taken some paint gems as well. But because of the size of it, and I took, oh no, maybe I took a 30 by 40 and I took my actual folding table and easel and stuff as well with me. Because of course, you know, it's compact and I had the car. And yeah, like carrying all that stuff in just made us realise that, do you know what, it's actually nicer to pack light. It's not hard to take stuff, you know, that you want, but we really do, as much as we enjoy going back to the apartment and, you know, having half an hour or an hour, we're then back out again, you know, and we're constantly doing that throughout the day. So while I may be somebody, especially if I know we're going to do something else, who doesn't want to like lie down and read a book, because then I won't want to get up again. A diamond paint gem mini is perfect for me, because then I'm still raring to go again, to keep going and get going. But yeah, after traipsing all that stuff in, and then especially not doing any of the cross stitch and the sort of cumbersome stuff that we dragged in, you know, not the case and things like that is fine. Yeah, it just made me think, nah, let's just pack light but still have, you know, something to do, and just enjoy the weekend for what it is, which is a lot of walks in a forest. And so far we've been quite blessed that the weather's been really, really nice. I am actually running out of comments now on this week's WIP and Waffle. Only because I am doing it that bit earlier. Otherwise, a couple more days and I'd have had a little bit more. So I think I've still got one. I've still got one to read. But I'm thinking I might just do these couple that are jumping out at me, because I know that these, while there is only a little bit, it will take me longer than I think. So I'm going to have a refresh and stuff of my comments, see if any more have been placed since I started this WIP and Waffle, which may happen. It's the evening time. So there's definitely lots of people watching videos, because there's a lot of comments on today's video. But yeah, I'm going to clean up my comments and see if there are any more for this WIP and Waffle. I'm going to grab myself a brew, because I feel like I'm talking funny. And then I will be fit as a fiddle to come back and waffle my way through the last section. I'm back. I've had a brew, been the loo, all that jazz. Okay, let's get this section finished up. There is only the one last comment, so I'll have to try a waffle like I did on Sunday's WIP and waffle. Waffle my way through, but I gave you all the updates then. So my brain's going, what do I update you about? Anyway, Henny's does say, hi Rebecca, says when you carefully melt your wax tip and shape it, leave the melted drop hanging on the tip to cool down, and you'll have a new pointy wax tip. Maybe I need to try that one again then, because I did sort of, you know, get it to the point of melting and reshaped it, but maybe I was just sort of squeezing it all back into shape a little bit too much. It did shape it into a nice point. That worked for me. However, I felt that it didn't pick up as well once I'd done that. Like, it didn't pick up the diamonds as well as it had been before I did that. Now, whether that is, whether I just had, I don't know, whether it's oils off my skin or something that just affected it and stopped it from sticking the same, I'm not sure. I've just done a symbol and completely missed a whole rack of them over there. These symbols that I'm doing now, this letter E, I'm sure I have not yet done this one on this painting. Like, I think it is a symbol that is only on the lady's dress. I mean, it's the letter E, so it was very easy for me to then find it. I seem to be struggling more with those two arrows, unless I didn't actually do them. Unless I didn't actually do the two arrows, but they seem to be the ones that I'm missing more. So there's definitely a few in there that I've missed. So I'm going to move on to some of these more prominent, darker ones. And that's actually a little bit lighter. So maybe I'll go back to it. So yeah, maybe with my wax tip, maybe it's just, it is one of those things that it sort of cropped up as a question that I spotted before I did my WIP and waffle. So I just decided to give it a go, like literally the night before I did my WIP and waffle, because I've just been dealing with the wax tips as they are. Like, I've not changed them out. I've not thought, oh yeah, I can, let's just change them. I've been dealing with some of them flatter than others, and they've still worked for me, albeit a new fresh tip is always nicer. They've never got to the point where they've annoyed me that much that I've decided to do something about it. So because I saw that comment, I thought, okay, let's give it a go. Let's actually try this before I speak about it. And maybe I just haven't tried it enough. But it's definitely an easy step for anybody to try, because it, you know, all it involves is, you know, like a lighter or a match or just something with a flame, a candle, something like that to sort of melt the wax tip, and then give it a go from there. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't stop you trying the pencil sharpener or shaving it with the likes of a craft knife. It definitely won't do you any harm. In fact, it's probably the best order to do it in, is trying melting it and reshaping it first, and then switching over to doing it another way if you find that it does the same as what I felt. But I'd say it didn't stop me using it, and there were parts of it that worked completely fine. So whether it was just my wax tip had some AB coating on it or something, possibly, very possible, from previous paintings that I've done or the current painting that I was working on. There is quite a thick coating on the current painting that I've been working on, and I've not noticed that like my AB diamonds, my AB pickup pen doesn't work in any way. It's not that my AB pen itself has stopped working before I even tried to melt it a bit. So I don't necessarily think it's that thick an AB that a load of stuff's coming off. If that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying it's a thickly coated AB diamond where loads of it sheds off or anything like that. I've not noticed any difference in that way, but maybe it is putting a light coating and I've just not realised it. Who knows? But it'll definitely be something I will give another go on a future wax tip pen, because they are a very easy grab. And wax crayons have worked, they did work better for me the second try than they did on the first. So it may well be the same with sort of melting it. It may work better for me the second time I do it than the first time. It's always weirder when it's something new, isn't it? But yeah, lots of options definitely to keep your wax tips on your pickup pens going for as long as possible before you need to replace them. And yeah, I am now down to the last colour. I knew this section wouldn't take me anywhere near as long as, of course, the rest, because I'm not looking all over the section. But I've definitely done it quicker than I thought. If I knew it was going to take 7-8 minutes, I probably would have just ploughed through. But I do feel so much better for having a brew. Oh, that blue's pretty. That is pretty. It's definitely a different colour over here on the dress, but that is a gorgeous colouring. Makes it even more exciting that it's got different colours in to the flowers. Will make it very, very nice to finish this one up. Of which I've not got that far to go. I've not got that far at all. Maybe when I do finish my other painting, maybe I will do, you know, a little bit of this, maybe. Give it a little kick in the right direction to being finished, but it'll definitely be after June Waffle before it's finished. And I, of course, will make sure that the last section I'm doing with you guys. I'm still unsure as to whether to just cover the rest in cover paper, but at the moment I do roll it up and put it back in its box in between. So yeah, we'll see if I get a nice chunk of it completed in between paintings or not. It'll all depend on the kind of week I'm having. It could be one of the good weeks, it could be one of the not so good weeks. But I'll try and keep some of these key areas for doing in WIP and Waffles. So if I finish this one and get to do some this week, then I might do some of this and keep some of this for the WIP and Waffles. While we're getting near the end, let's keep the exciting parts for WIP and Waffles. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me for today's WIP and Waffle. Thank you all for your comments, etc. I am, say, a little bit ahead with this video because I'm kitting up the June Waffle on Saturday. It gives me a lot of videos to do in my new sort of time frame, my week of filming, and it's launch week, so I have less days to film than I normally do. So I thought I'm giving myself a little bit of a head start. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.